Is the idea of making your partner's structure stick to your structure. I heard it once talked about before. A lot of guys explained it. A lot of guys tried to give it across, but they never showed exactly how it's done. They talked about how when one move, they have to catch up to another movement to be able to defend themselves or to be able to attack. So what I'm going to do is show how this works. Now, what we're going to do is first maintain the idea of proper structure and the proper rotation within the Chi Sao cycle. Yiji Kaning Ma. Now, what he's going to do here is make sure everything is below his clavicle. Because once this stuff goes above his clavicle, even to the ball here, it's going to push him back or separate the upper extremities from the lower extremities. Okay? Even with the time, if it's above the clavicle here, it's going to push back, make him fight more to find his center of gravity. So what we're going to do is make sure he keep everything below his clavicle and low as possible to maintain the idea of Chun stemming from the shoulder or the square of the triangle down to the elbows, which is the secondary square of the triangle, which actually you take that energy itself, okay, which actually from here to here it goes behind you, meaning the vertice or the vertex of the triangle dealing from this spot to this spot, from elbow to elbow. This here is the square of the triangle. Then you have a secondary square that actually works almost in a 45-degree behind you. Just thinking about it, you know, imagination, you know. So what we're going to do is just talk about how to have a good structure dealing with the rolling hand. Now, we don't want to cycle in a way that is like a square wheel. And how you get the square wheel effect is that you pivot from the radius right here, and when he axle, notice how the hand goes up. Notice how it goes up. You want to come in a little bit closer there? Notice how it goes up rather than stay in one cycle. So therefore, he breaks his structure and it doesn't dig or wedge right away into my structure. And therefore, I always have to jump on him as far as destroying his structure or working off his bad structure. He comes down here again. Now we have the axle from the wrist there. He axle from the wrist, just like a drill bit. Just like a drill bit here. Okay? Just like a drill bit. This way, it automatically and right away stick right to your opponent's or partner's structure. There you go. Axle, axle, axle. Now what I'm going to do here is deal with his trapezium right here off the thumb right there. That little bone right there, which is connected to the metacarpus, the trapezium, down to the radius. Okay? So I'm going to take my ulna, which is the pinky side of my arm here, and just wedge it right alongside of his trapezium right there, right around that thumb side. Then I'm just going to lay it down. Now as he axle from his wrist, he gets that complete ridge. Notice how the hands stay relaxed, and I just ride the roll. He goes in. See how I ride that roll? And I ride it, and it gives us really good wedging and sticking energy right off. Notice that. Look at that roll, and then look at that ride on that roll there. Okay? All right. Now he does the same. Keep it below the clavicle there. Right. And we just axle from each other's wrists. He axle, I axle, and we just ride and roll. Ride and roll. There you go. Now, when it comes down to jamming, wedging, or slicing, we're going to deal with the idea of jamming and wedging to actually make my partner stick to my structure. And this is what's going to happen. Once he has a good tonsile, I'm going to maintain this idea, the way the skin moves back and forth, okay? The way my skin moves back and forth here, I'm going to make sure that I make sure he sticks to my structure based on how my skin moves like this, okay? Now, what I'm going to do here is just explain without doing that concept, but with application. As he punches with the hand here, now see how I wedge right away or jam right away and I felt him off my skin? A lot of people misconstrue that as I may jump behind or can't catch up, day late, dollar short. So when he throws that strike, I come here and I'm able to wedge or move that line to hit. Okay, now that's the idea if you want to use applications or if you want to actually attack, block, or whatever you need to do. But to help develop good sensitivity here, I'm just going to just let him roll. You gotta need more chunk. All right, now when he attacks. See, notice how he sticks to me? He attack. I'm making him stick. Keep coming in. Right, don't stop. Keep coming in. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. See how I'm making him stick to me? Keep going. Go ahead, lock it, lock it. See that? Making him attack. See that? It's making him stick to me. Keep going. Now he steps in. Go ahead, step in. Go ahead, roll me over. See that? Push out.